we need the following measurement. Our full arm length, that's the distance between the shoulder and the wrist. Then our bicep circumference, which is the fullest part of the upper arm. Our underarm length, which is the distance between the underarm and the wrist. Then our final measurement will be the wrist. So these are the tools that I will be using today. So I've got my pattern paper, my pattern master, my ruler, my measuring tape, pencil, eraser, tracing wheel, and a pair of scissors. So before we get started, I would love to advise anyone who is watching for the very first time, if you've not seen our previous video where we drafted the back and the front of a basic bodice block, I would advise you to watch those videos before commencing with the sleeve block, as this video is a continuation of our previous videos. To begin drafting, we need to first of all draw a vertical line which is equal to our full arm length measurement. Mine is 22 inches. Next, we need to square a line which will serve as our wrist line, and my measurement is 9 inches including the ease. We need to divide that by 2, and that will be 4.5 inches. So we're going to place our ruler at the center of the line, marking either of the line 2.25 inches. Next, I am going to mark a line which is my underarm length, and my underarm length measurement is 15 inches. I'm going to add 1 inch just for ease, and that will be 16 inches altogether. I'll then square a line which is half of my bicep circumference. I'll place my ruler at the center of the line, marking each side 3.75 inches. Next, I will square a line at the top of the sleeve. Then join all lines together like so. Now I'm going to rotate my paper. Then I will go ahead to measure the distance between the top sleeve line and the bicep circumference line, and mark half of the measurement, and also repeat the same step on the other line. And now I will have to determine where the front and the back of the sleeve is. For the back sleeve, I am going to mark 1/4 inch above the previous point, while for the front sleeve, I am going to mark 1/2 inch below the previous point. So once that is done, I am going to connect both lines, and your line should be a slant line, not a straight line. Next, I will go ahead using the curved part of my pattern master to join the front sleeve point to the center line. I will also repeat that step for the back sleeve. We are going to repeat the same step like we did previously. And also we want to form an I shape instead of a perfect circle shape. Now we have our I shape. This is the reason why they call it an arm's eye. We are going to measure around the shape, making sure it matches the same measurement as our armhole. Now that we've taken our measurement, we need to write that down, and in case you have any differences between measurements, you need to adjust that appropriately. Now we're going to turn our pattern paper over. We're going to fold along the seam line. And once our paper is folded, we need to make sure we see through the paper in order for us to trace out the lines properly. Now we're going to begin tracing out the lines using our tracing wheel. Once we are done tracing out the lines, we need to get our ruler to make sure we draw in those lines. Once we are done drawing out our lines, we can go ahead to open our pattern. And now half of the sleeve is done. We need to repeat the same step for the other half of the sleeve. Now that we are almost done drafting the sleeve block, we need to make sure all the lines are smooth. Then I'll go ahead to measure 3 1/4 inches for my front notch. Then for the back notch, I'm going to use the same measurement, but this time with a double notch. Next, I am going to get my bodice block, making sure all the notches are exactly the same point as the sleeve. Once that is done, we need to measure around our sleeve cup, making sure it's the same measurement as the armhole. Now our sleeve is finally ready. All we need to do is to label our pattern. Get a fresh sheet of paper, trace off this pattern, making sure we add our seam allowance. Then we can cut out using our chosen fabric. And this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment down below. Bye for now.